One thing about Nixon that really a lot of people forget is he's an absolute master when it comes to foreign policy. In fact, after he's resigns in disgrace, we'll talk about that in a later video. After he resigns in disgrace, every president that follows him, up to his death, obviously, can't ignore him particularly when it comes to foreign policy. Right? So let's talk about Nixon's foreign policy. And the ironic thing about it is the fact that he's an anti-communist. He's a rabid anti-communist, but in the 1950s, 40s, and 50s, right? And now we get into the 60s, and now he's getting more cozy with it, and particularly with communist powers. And so in 1972, Nixon is going to try and play the China card. He's going to he's going to try to de-escalate tensions throughout the Cold War, but he's all in an attempt to basically finish off the Vietnam War. So what does he do? Well, he seeks out North Vietnam's chief ally, a chief supporter, and that, of course, is going to be China. In 1972, he goes and visits China, the first time a sitting president ever went to communist China. And there he normalizes relations. What do I mean by normalizing relations? Well, the United States did not have a normal diplomatic relationship with China until Nixon. Between 1949 and 1972, the United States did not recognize the existence of the People's Republic of China. When the government said China, they pretty much meant Taiwan. All right, so Nixon is going to basically normalize relations with China in an attempt not only to de-escalate tensions between the two countries, but also to get China to pressure the North Vietnamese to get to the negotiation table to end the war in Vietnam. Now, another power is going to be watching this. They're going to say, you know what? I want a piece of that. And that's going to be the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union and China, even though they're neighbors, even though they're both communist nations, they're rivals, all right? They don't really get along very well. But, when Nixon visits China, the Soviet Union is going to go, wait a second, they're getting buddy-buddy with our communist rival. We need a little bit of piece of that. So what does the Soviet Union do? They invite Nixon to show up. And so it's the first time a sitting president of the United States goes to the Soviet Union. And there he signs alongside the Soviets what's known as the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty, the SALT agreement, which basically starts to outlaw major classes of nuclear warheads. I mean, nuclear weapons. And honestly, isn't that one of the best ways to de-escalate tensions, by removing what is causing the tensions in the first place? You're looking at another place and another country, and you're worried about their weaponry. I mean, look at the relationship between the United States and Iran. One of the reasons why the United States and Iran don't get along too well is because of the fact that Iran is allegedly trying to make nuclear weapons. I'll let you research the topic in terms of Iran nuclear weapons, and that's and decide for yourself. Do they have them? Do they not? Are they developing them? Are they not? That's up to you. That's TV. That's not history right now. But nevertheless, Nixon is a master at foreign relations, at trying to get better relationships with the Chinese and with the Russians, and nobody can ignore that, including presidents of the United States.